Broadcasting live from Houligans Sports Grill on ISB in Daytona Beach, Florida, it's the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show with the Gridiron Gang. Fellas, let's flip the switch and do this. A very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. It's the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats versus the Mercer Bears. I'd like to welcome my co-host, Mr. Ralph Smith, my other co-host, Mr. Larry Wesley, and of course myself, Coach Darold Williams. Guys, how has it been since we last seen each other? Well, Saturday night, huh?
Well, we finally got some football, and we finally got to see our Wildcats.
Finally saw some football, finally saw our Wildcats. And not a bad showing. Score wasn't indicative of that, but not a bad showing at all. Ralph, what and we'll talk about it a little bit more, but when you left the stadium the other night in Tampa, how did you feel?
You know, personally, I felt that we did exactly what I thought we were going to do, not in terms of the score. But I paid primarily attention to our offensive line.
Okay.
I wanted to see how well they held up. And I kind of figured that South Florida was going to have a seven-man front. And they did exactly what I expected them to do. But I thought our guys held up pretty well.
Okay. So better than what you expected? And I know we'll go through this here shortly, but –
I'm not going to say it was better, but we came out of there with little or no injuries. That was the most important thing. I mean, you know, the last time we played at FBS school, we played Miami, and we came out of there on crutches. We lost two quarterbacks in that game.
We definitely did.
Yeah, I thought this game, we played three different quarterbacks. Neither of them got injured. I said it was a good night for Bethune-Cookman.
Larry, how's your week been, big guy?
Not bad, Daryl. You know, it's just that time of year in Florida where we got rain everywhere, and we're all too familiar with it. So we're in the heart of coming into the heart of hurricane season, and water's everywhere. So we can probably expect a little more of it at some point in the game Saturday. But I walked away from last week feeling pretty darn good, because when you looked at the ball game, it went, like Ralph said, just about like I thought it was. I was more concerned with looking at our injury report. Did we lose anybody in that regard? And I thought we got out of it pretty good with maybe a few bumps and bruises. But the most important part was I thought our ones, our first teamers, did real well against USF, because we forced them into a 4 and out rather. They had to punt on the first series. And throughout the football game, in short yardage situations, our ones stood up really well against them. We held them down at the goal line one time. But we played a lot of different people, a lot of, combinations of people. And as I said, I thought we gave a really good account of ourselves. The spread on the game was 40 points. That was the spread going in. We lose it, 48-3. So we were in the range of the spread, and USF covered the spread. But I thought all in all, we didn't show a whole lot, but the players got in, and there wasn't a lot of drop-off from the ones to the twos to the threes. We played spirited football. We never quit. We played to the whistle.
Never quit.
And I thought all in all, we did a great job, particularly in the special teams. We'll develop that later on in the program.
Definitely so. Definitely so. That will take us right into our SWAC week recap. As we saw last Thursday night, there were 3 games on outside of the Colorado North Dakota State game. But we had Arkansas Pine Bluff facing Arkansas. Final score of that game was, of course, Arkansas 70, UAPB 0. Some interesting things that came out of that game. We still don't know why. There was a different, contrasting uniforms and things of that nature. But I guess we'll find that out later. Then Alcorn faces UAB. UAB wins that game 41-3 against Alcorn. Then Jackson State at University of Louisiana Monroe 30, Jackson State 14. And I don't have to ask you guys, but I don't think there's any surprises there for you guys.
I think the one that the Jackson State faithful thought that they would go down and get that W, but I got to give you University of Louisiana Monroe credit. They played very spirited football, and they came out on top. Jackson State did provide a great environment. They brought everybody down from Jackson. I think it's about an hour and 40-minute ride down, and they took over the stadium with a good-sized crowd and that big band of theirs. But on the scoreboard, ULM came out on top.
Right, definitely. ULM came out on top in that contest. So we'll see, guys. We will definitely see, and it remains to be seen. Let's go further in our SWAC week recap. South Carolina State plays Florida A&M. Florida A&M comes back from behind in that game and wins 22-18. So
very good football game.
That was a great football game.
Definitely so. Mississippi Valley State plays Tennessee State. Tennessee State 41, Mississippi Valley 21. So they were able to put some points up against those guys.
Yeah, that's the John Merritt Classic that they always start off with in Nashville, and that's an awful lot of points for two teams in the first game. But it seems like the offenses were both ahead of the defenses in that ball game. I know Tennessee State got out early. At one point in time, it was 21-0, and give Mississippi Valley State credit. They fought to get back in the game a little bit and ended up, with a 41-21 split there in terms of falling to TSU by that score.
Right, definitely so. Then our Wildcats, as we said earlier, goes into South Florida. Final score of that game, 48-3. We'll cover that later. Texas Southern and Prairie View. Texas Southern wins that game 27-9 over Prairie View.
Something of a shock for me right there. Chris Dishman, first-year coach at TSU, taking on Bubba McDowell and Prairie View. And I kind of favored Prairie View going in. But give the Fighting Chris Dishmans some credit because they came out in battle and won that thing going away 27-9.
They definitely did. They definitely came back and, Texas Southern's on fire to start out. So that's great for them. We look forward to seeing what they have the rest of the year. Then we have Alabama A&M. They go to Auburn. Auburn 73, Alabama A&M 3, which
no surprise.
Yeah, none at all.
Painful to watch. It really was.
Then Grambling goes to the Raging Cajuns of University of Louisiana. University of Louisiana 40, Grambling 10.
About what I thought it would be.
And then
in that spread.
Right, definitely. And then Southern goes to McNeese State 21, Southern 7.
We just we haven't been able to get around McNeese State. I mean, I thought actually Southern was going to probably contend in that game, but I had seen McNeese State earlier playing against Tarleton State. But again, I'm not sure what Southern has this year. but they lose 21-7.
Definitely. And then rounding out, you have on last Sunday, North Carolina Central and Alabama State down in the Orange Blossom Classic. Final score of that game, North Carolina Central 31, Alabama State 24.
You know, that particular game was a very painful game for Alabama State. Alabama State was chosen to be the East champions, and they lost their first and second string quarterback in that game.
Definitely, and one is out indefinitely for the rest of the season, and then the one
He has a concussion.
right. So
Yeah, that was a primetime game on Sunday, and affected a little bit by the weather. At first, I thought it was looking like a runaway, the way Central had gotten out of the gates early.
Right.
And had them down, had Bama State down 21-0. But the Hornets, to their credit, fought back to make a game of it to some extent. But boy, what a downer for the Hornets, losing the preseason Offensive Player of the Year in Andrew Body.
yeah, that was a big hurt. To hear that, it pretty much hit the airways a little 4 days this morning coming through. So that's tough for those guys.
Hey.
They'll have to regroup, no question about it. They're going to have to regroup.
Yep.
Definitely so. So that'll wrap up our SWAC week recap. Let's go into our Pro First Sports Management SWAC week schedule and rankings. Of course, our Wildcats take on the Mercer Bears at 3 p.m. And we'll cover this a little later, but just so everyone knows, kickoff here in Daytona, which typically is 4, will be at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Saturday out at Daytona Stadium against the Mercer Bears.
Pack you some rain gear. Because
Definitely.
you're probably going to need it.
Definitely. Then you have Florida A&M and Miami down in Hard Rock Stadium. That's a 6 p.m. kickoff down there. Miles College and Alabama State face off 6 p.m. in Montgomery. And Kentucky State goes to Alabama A&M. That's a 7 p.m. kickoff in Louis Cruz Stadium in Huntsville. Tuskegee goes to Grambling, 7 p.m. kickoff. In Eddie G. Robinson Memorial Stadium there in Grambling. And then Lane travels to Jackson State. That's another 7 p.m. kickoff, 6 Central, Mississippi, in Memorial Stadium there in Jackson. Texas Southern goes on to face Rice. That's another 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kickoff there in Rice. Savannah State travels to Southern, 7 p.m. kickoff in Baton Rouge. Prairie View goes to Northwestern State. That's a 7 p.m. kickoff in Natchitoches, Louisiana. And then Mississippi Valley State goes to Lamar at a 7 p.m. kickoff there in Beaumont, Texas. Alcorn State faces Vanderbilt. That's a 7:30 p.m. kickoff on ESPNU in Nashville. And then rounding out for the SWAC for this weekend, Arkansas Baptist travels to Arkansas Pine Bluff, 8 p.m. kickoff in Pine Bluff. So there it is, guys.
All of these are early season games, so nothing is in the conference right now. Last week we had Prairie View and Texas Southern, which is a classic that's held every Labor Day. So those were the only 2 conference teams sort of going head to head. And I noticed the schedule, Daryl, we have a number of Division II teams playing some SWAC schools that are FCS schools. But again, those are the games you typically get within the first 2 to 3 weeks of the season.
Right. Definitely so. So there we have it. Let's go over our FCS computer rankings. So, of course, coming in at number 10 is FAMU. They were previously 14. Jackson State comes in at 59. They were previously 50. Alabama State comes in at 81. They were previously 66. At 84 is Alcorn State. They were previously 74. Texas Southern comes in at 87. They were previously 107. Alabama A&M comes in at 88, previously 92. Prairie View A&M comes in at 93. They were previously 71. Grambling State comes in at 100. They were previously 96. Southern comes in at 107, previously 85. Our Wildcats come in at 117. We were previously 115. Arkansas Pine Bluff comes in at 124, previously 123. And Mississippi Valley State comes in at 129, previously 126. Now, as far as SWAC rankings, which is still early in the SWAC season, of course, we're just kicking it off. FAMU 1-0 in the conference overall. They are 2-0. Alabama State comes in 0-0 in the conference. Overall, they are
0-1.
Yeah, 0-1. Yeah. Mississippi Valley State. You know what? We'll just cover it later. It's still early.
Really?
We have some teams still playing the money games and things of that nature. So we'll come back and cover that at a later point in time. So there you have it for the Pro First Sports Management SWAC Power Rankings and weekly schedule. Guys, let's talk about something that's near and dear. We'll talk. It's the 1923 Society NIL chat. Guys, how important, and I know we talk about it quite a bit, but I don't think we realize how important it is, NIL, name, image, and likeness is in college sports, all sports, but definitely in football, basketball. Ralph, you and I with the the Michigan States, the Florida States, there's been some comments made about, we all know that Florida State's going through some struggles right now, but even to talk about DJ Ukulele, he's, a part of his NIL is $400-something thousand.
Well, again, as we had spoken previously, the NIL actually changes the landscape for Division I football. And that's probably why you see so much movement. Players are moving around basically for money. So if you're going to stay in Division I football and you're not participating in NIL, then you're going to be behind the eight ball, because that's what it's all about now. I mean, I remember last year the Nebraska coach had mentioned that if you wanted a good quarterback, it was going to cost you $1 million a year. So that's, of course, we're at a lower level Division I. We're not at the $1 million rank. However, you're still going to have to invest in these players to get them to play for you.
Definitely. And while it's not set up for recruiting, it is about recruiting because, hey, I can easily, show my face at an event, do some autograph signings and things of that nature. But I also want to play at your school. Mm-hmm. You guys set up that autograph signing thing session for me, but this is what it's going to take for me to play here. And I know there's been a group of guys who, even with the 1923 here for our Wildcat football players, it's $30-something thousand in. And, it's, that's low budget. That's one player. I know,
Again, you could try to sugarcoat it all you want, but NIL has changed the landscape in college football.
For sure.
I mean, it used to be kids want to come to your university for education and because of the name. Now they want to come to your university for how much money can you pay me?
and I can play immediately,
Yeah.
you know.
And yeah, all the guys that's coming in that's asking for the money, they aren't sitting the bench. They want to play today. So that's what we got to deal with.
And the money is certainly different, as you both are commenting on this for the FBS level. But the secondary part of that for me is that at that next level, which is the FCS level, I don't think people understand the importance of the NIL even at that level, because this thing is setting itself up to look like a farm system, if you really get where I'm coming from. Because there will be some schools from the FBS level who will reach down and identify certain players at the FCS level and make an offer to them to come up to play for them.
Exactly.
But even if they don't do that, you got to re-recruit your own roster to be able to keep your kids that you've actively recruited, to give them something, because there are going to be other people at different levels offering things.
Definitely. And, you know, we say it very often, you know, the portal gives and it takes away.
Absolutely. I was about to say that. Gives and takes
It
away.
gives and definitely takes away. And you have to be able to, if you want to sustain, you have to be able to keep it from being taken away. You know.
Well, a perfect example is how we flipped our roster from last year to this year. And we mentioned the roster intently last week. We went through it. And those are some good kids out there playing football for us. High-quality kids. And I'm enjoying this because they're here now.
Yes.
And so I'd like to see them, those who want to be here next year, commit to being here. But I'm not crazy. I know it's going to take something to get something, you know, and that's what we got to continue to look at.
Right. And, you know, there are 3 in place that I know of, NIL collectives and things of that nature. You know, number 1, you have the 1923 Society NIL collective. Then you have the new Hail Maroon and Gold, and also Influxer with the clothing deal that a lot of the players are doing. So, you know, and you can have as many as possible. There are so many out there. There's so many ways. You know, it's a big thing for businesses using that person to help to push your business, advertise for your business. You know, as we talked about, and I think we mentioned it last year, Utah.
Yeah.
You know, Utah has auto
dealership.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was allowing their players to drive vehicles.
Yep.
Right.
I'm not talking about hoopties. I'm talking about
no,
real
brand new
vehicles.
1500s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, one other thing that I would like to mention, though, and we have to understand that now, once you drop down from the FBF level to the FCS, the money is not as plentiful at the lower level. And that's why we need more support at the FCS level, because there's a lot of people want to give to the FBF level. The Notre Dames, the Michigans, the Alabamas, even Colorado.
And it's huge money up at those areas.
Yeah.
And what we mean by huge money, like the media revenue and all that stuff
The
that's
alumni
been,
support.
pumped into it. So
Yeah.
it definitely matters and factors in. So just a little bit, if you want to know more about NIL and what it is, it's very important. There's quite a bit of things you can do that the NCAA approves of for you to do. And we are definitely, as we said, in the NIL world.
This
so
is it.
we are definitely in it. Guys, let's pivot. BCU versus USF. And, you know, yes, we were talking about NIL, but we saw the difference between, as you were saying, Ralph, the FBS level and the FCS level. I mean, those guys, like this week, USF is going to compete against Alabama. last year they almost beat Alabama. Then they have Miami coming into. Miami is coming to USF in a few weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Yeah. So, final score of that game is, like I said earlier, 48-3. Guys, what were you expecting? I know we covered it a little bit last year. What were you expecting coming into that game?
Okay, so what I was expecting is we go in there, we play a lot of people. A lot of people get experience in that game and try to stay away from injuries, and we completed that task. We went in, a lot of people played, we came out, we came out knowing what we need to work on the following week. So I was pretty satisfied, actually.
What about, Ralph, what about playing 3 quarterbacks?
Well, I mean, again, we wanted to play a lot of people, get a lot of experience, because you got to remember, last year, when we went down to Miami, we got our first and second string quarterback. We pretty much lost them for the entire season. Now, one of them came back and tried to play.
But then he had to go back out again.
Yeah, but, I mean, that really threw us for a loop. And so, I understand what Alabama State is going through now, because that's the same thing that happened to us.
Right.
I think we're framing these games entirely wrong for our fan bases. I think to put it in the context of football, these games, while they are money games, they are essentially exhibition games, just like the NFL. You're going to see the starters out there for maybe 2-3 series, then you're going to get them out.
Right.
Okay, and that's essentially how this football game unfolded as well. We wanted to get our frontline players in. We won the toss. We deferred. We kicked off to them. We hold them and force a 3 and out. That in and of itself, to me, says something significant, because you would expect that an FBS team would take that football and march it right down the field.
Exactly. Yep.
And that didn't happen.
Exactly.
So we were extremely competitive very early, and almost to the point that it was sort of frustrating the crowd, because they just anticipated they were just going to annihilation. And they were ready for that. But we held them, and then we got the football back, and we started making a drive based on some penalties that had occurred on the part of USF. And before you know it, we had the football for about 4 minutes there in that first quarter, and it was nothing.
Right. Yeah.
And we had no score in that quarter until within the last 2 minutes of the first quarter.
It was this is not to heckle anyone. There was many people saying that it was a boring game.
Exactly.
And not because it was a blowout.
Exactly.
It was,
Exactly. You could feel the buzz in the facility. It was a nice crowd. They did not open the upper deck levels of Raymond James. Everything was down in the lower bowl, and they had a tremendous crowd in there in that lower bowl area. People were seated all around, end zone, and everywhere else, but the ball game was nothing till about, I guess, 3 minutes to go in the first quarter before we get the first score.
Right, and yes, the write-up says we struggled on offense, but if you know, right? Ralph, what's going to happen when you go play a money game?
Well, the same thing that happened to us last year at Memphis. It was almost identical. They don't want you to even think that you're going to compete against them. So they blitzing just about every play, because they don't want you to get the mindset that you can compete.
And what's the favorite saying? You're not going to.
You can't get paid and get calls too. Yeah. They're not going to pay you and then give you calls. I mean, there was holding, clipping, all kinds of stuff out there. But again, we came out of that thing with little or no injury. So I think we won, actually.
Guys, it's probably been one football game in my life where we were broadcasting an FBS FCS game where I had the audacity to think that we could play. And we did play with University of Miami. Brian Jenkins was the coach.
Yeah.
And it was, not only did we play, we led.
Yeah,
and
we
the
did.
people in the press row in the Orange, in Hard Rock Stadium, they were angry beyond angry.
Yeah.
How can this team, this little team, be playing with the Hurricanes, the mighty Hurricanes? But we had the caliber of player at that point in time. We could do that.
And it goes back to the whole part about recruiting and the things that you have to do within that recruiting to get those caliber players in there to match up right across. And the skipper that we have now, I mean, that was one of his old schools. You know, he was the defensive coordinator at USF.
At USF,
so,
yeah.
you know, he knows what he's looking for, the size of player, and we matched up well against those guys.
We look like a real football team, size-wise, depth-wise, you know, and physicality-wise.
Right. Definitely. So our Wildcats, we held strong, like you said, forced some 3 and outs.
Yep.
You know, then so after, you know, we gave Micah his go at it, his preseason go,
Right.
for lack of a better word. Then we brought my man Cam Ransom in.
No, we brought Luke in first.
No.
Cam.
Cam.
We brought Cam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Cam and Luke finished it off at the end. But
There, one more thing I got to say, and
Yes,
I
sir.
think this has to be interjected there. When the game was in that lull where there was no score, and you can kind of feel this buzz, all of a sudden, certain penalties started not being called, okay? Holdings and muggings and everything else, you know, because they wanted to turn this game up a little bit, you know. And that's essentially what it was.
it was, and then you come down to the point where, and of course we don't heckle officials and things of that nature. That's not what we do, but 4 then usually go back to 2. You know?
No.
And so in that game, you know, it was 4th and 1. We stopped them on 4th and 1. And all of a sudden, the down marker changes from 4 to
down to
2.
2 yard.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there looking at this and saying, wait a minute. It was just 4th down.
Right, it's just 4th down. And, you know, so they reviewed it. They overturned it. Wildcats ball, the good guys ball. But then, even after that, and I don't know if people caught it, they reviewed it for a second time.
They sure did.
Because, you know, Coach Golesh was...
He was out there. He was still
in his
lobbing
feelings.
his point.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, definitely.
Yes, he was.
He was definitely in his feelings. And then, not just that, right before halftime...
There's another one. Yep. There's another one.
So, we kicked our field goal.
Yes, we did.
And great job, Kate Hector, hitting a 48-yarder. We kick our field goal, 48-yard, as time expires on the clock. So we should go into halftime. We got 3 points on the board, and I forgot what their score was at that time. But wait a minute.
It should have been 28-3. That's what it was going to be
Yeah.
at half. You know, but all of a sudden, something happened with the clock again.
And
Okay?
28 seconds
28
got added
seconds
back to the clock.
added onto the clock.
There again, 4 goes back to another 2.
There it is. There it is.
But see, people don't understand about that money game. Them folks is not gonna let you come into their house.
But don't cheat me, man. Beat me fair and square. Don't
That's
cheat
all
me.
we're saying.
Yeah.
That's all we're saying. And guys, when we were covering the games earlier in the program, we were talking about the various scores. There were some brutal scores put up by some teams. So
Yeah,
some
yeah, yeah.
70 spots.
Definitely. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Auburn.
Arkansas
Yeah.
beat Pine Bluff. Auburn beat
In the 70s.
beat Alabama A&M in 70-3, and those are merciful scores, you know. I mean,
Here's this check, and here's what else we want to give you, too.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's, you know.
But I think what you were saying or what you were asking us, it went about as well as I thought it could go because we did show that we learned something from last year
Yes.
and not putting our whole season in jeopardy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is what happened down in Miami.
Exactly.
And we played a lot of people, as we said, and we got a lot of people some repetitions. And I didn't think that the quality of play dropped off. You
No,
could tell.
it did
You
not.
could tell that our kids who were put in the game, they knew what their assignments were,
Definitely.
and that's a sign of being prepared.
That was it was better than what the score indicated
Yes, it was.
because, as I said earlier, that's the same team who's going into Brian Denny on Saturday, up in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
And so, hopefully they had, a great week of practice because, that Alabama ain't playing.
Oh no, and in fact, we were seated in a position where we saw a couple of their frontline players get hurt.
Oh,
who
man.
might not
Big
be
time
playing
guys.
at all
Yeah,
this
big
this
time
week.
guys. Yeah.
Who
Definitely.
might not be playing at all. So it's something to mention. And USF rather, they won a bowl game last year.
Right.
So they
They beat Syracuse 45-0.
right. They came into this season. They've come into this season with great expectations.
Exactly. Yep.
And even at this level, but at that level, that expectation is like heightened because,
They got a lot of money in
they
there.
will walk you out of there.
Oh, no
They'll
doubt.
walk you out of there.
I, gentlemen, will be seated in front of my TV at 7 o'clock to watch the Alabama USF game, okay, because that's at night.
Yes.
And I want to see if they push Bama around like they tried to push us around. We'll see what happens in that matchup. And not taking anything away from them because
No.
they played Alabama really well. They should have beat Alabama last
Yeah,
year.
they should have.
They should
Yep.
have.
Yep.
They should have. They should have. Come back in the second half. Of course, as Larry said, with the time input back on the clock, they answered and hit a 53-yard field goal as time expired.
Right, exactly.
As the extra time expired going into halftime. Then we come back out, and we see a sighting of Luke Sprague, who of course finished the contest. On that one play, got it down to, if we catch the ball on that
catch
fourth
it,
down,
that's a touchdown.
That's a touchdown.
That
That's a
tunnel
walk-in.
screen was there.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
was there.
walk-in.
Yeah.
That was there. He threw a nice ball too, but we couldn't complete it.
We just didn't execute it.
Yep.
Cam Ransom finishes that contest 12 of 19, 122 yards and interception. Then Sprague, Luke, finishes 5 for 8 for 37 yards. Cam Ransom comes back as the leading rusher with 25 yards on 8 attempts. Hard to get a big man down, man.
Yes,
Nothing
indeed.
moves like a train.
Yes, indeed. Bring your lunch if you're going to tackle
There
him,
you
okay?
go. There you go. Lorenzo Jenkins leads the Wildcats receiving. He had a big game. He had a
Great
big
job
game,
of
man.
route running and catching with his hands.
Yes,
He showed
yes.
great hands.
Definitely so. Definitely so. Finished that game with 5 receptions for 53 yards. And then, not to knock anybody else, but that man, there's
Mama, there's that man again.
I mean, and yes, he has changed numbers this year. He is number 6 this year, but number 6 was in on
Everywhere.
every play.
Everywhere.
Every play. that
Tackles
guy.
for losses, TFLs, sacks. He was there.
8 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, and a sack.
Yes, sir.
Is how he finished
That's
it
it. That's
as a non-starter.
That's right.
Yeah, because he didn't play the whole game. He came in.
No,
Yep.
no.
But again, that game, by playing all those players, the coaches got an opportunity probably to make some adjustments in terms of what system or who's going to play.
Definitely. So
That's what that game served as.
That was a great tune-up for Mercer coming in this weekend.
Exactly.
We'll get to Mercer, but that is a great,
Because the offense that we ran in that game was pretty much the exact offense we ran at the spring game, which was super vanilla. And when you're playing that kind of opponent, you want to be vanilla.
Right.
You really do.
I mean, over the next, from here on out, basically.
It's game on.
Yeah, from here on out.
It starts Saturday.
Saturday is game on.
3 p.m. kickoff this Saturday at Daytona Stadium. And no, I did not make a mistake. 3 p.m. kickoff instead of 4. Guys, it's that time. Great time. So we'll go offense and then defense, and then we'll grade special teams. And we are also talking about the headsets. All right, here we go, guys. So quarterback play. Larry?
I would give our quarterbacks for this game, particularly facing the kind of constant pressure they were facing in terms of the blitz package. I would give them a C+.
Okay. And fans, definitely join in with us in our grading period. We'd love to have you commenting and joining in with us. How about you, Ralph, for quarterbacks?
I would give the same grade as Larry. C+.
Okay. Running backs. Granted, Cam was the highest rusher. We got what do you got for running backs? Larry?
Well, for me, I'm grading it this way. The defense that they played, we never ever got a chance to truly run zone read because the backers were already, they brought more than we could block. And we were not trying to throw the football to create turnovers. They wanted to press us into turnovers. So the running backs didn't have much room to run because there were more people to block. But I thought they ran the ball hard. They hit the holes where they could hit the hole. They didn't hurt us. They didn't fumble the football. There were no turnovers on their part. So I'm going to, at this point, I'm going to give them a C.
Okay.
My grade would be a C as well.
All right. Fans, what say you? All right, guys, let's go to the wide receiver core, and we'll also include the tight ends in there.
I'm gonna give the wide receivers a C, or just a flat C. I think we got to work on running routes, but I thought they did a pretty decent job. But I'm going to give them a C.
I'm going to give a C+ for this reason. I know I saw 4 PIs.
Right.
Where people were being mugged.
Oh, yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And when our players actually touched the ball, we caught the ball. I mean, we made some plays there. We played a lot of people, but again, we're running a vanilla offense. We weren't trying to attack them in a way that we would probably attack this weekend.
Like Mercer.
Yeah.
Mercer totally different.
That's why I'm going a C+. The effort was there. I thought that they got to their spots. Mm-hmm. And again, if they call some of those PIs, which they weren't going to call, but those could have been receptions.
Yeah, it was a lot of holding though. It was an awful lot of holding.
Literally. I mean, you saw people's jerseys being rearranged.
Yeah, right.
Definitely.
Yeah, and it wasn't being called either. So again,
consensus C?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's go offensive line.
Well, here's the thing with the offensive line. I thought they held up really well. Here's where I really give them. When we got ready to pass, they held up well.
Yeah.
They really did against the blitz. USF was bringing more than 5 or 6 on every play. They were coming. And we held up well. And we really didn't we didn't do anything stupid with the football. We really held on to the football. We didn't lose any fumbles in that regard where quarterbacks got stripped and everything. And for the most part, I think we had, I think Micah had one interception that he threw. And that was a late throw on his part.
Yeah, and that guy came over and made a good play.
He was a robber.
Right.
He came
right,
over and Mike didn't account for him. But I thought that the offensive line held up by and large really well. I saw us being able to move some people a little bit, but as I said before, they brought more than we could actually handle.
Yeah, they pretty much rushing 7 people.
Yeah.
6 people, and then they would bring an extra one.
But I didn't see any jailbreak get homes to the quarterback where people came free. I saw linemen putting a hat on a hat, and I saw a lot of effort there.
Would you agree with the comment? Receivers gotta, and I know we're going back to receivers. Receivers gotta be a bit more urgent to get to the point of attack. But
Yeah. I'll take it a little bit further. Receivers have got to understand the physicality of route running.
Yes.
And run through the hand checking that's probably, it's not going to be called at that level.
No.
No.
So you have to be strong running your route, and also you got to be strong at the point of making the reception. So yeah, you got to work through that. I would agree with that.
I totally agree with you, Larry. That one interception that Micah threw, and I was talking to Darold about that. There was 2 receivers in the same spot,
Yeah.
so I knew somebody did run the right route.
Well, but that guy was actually in a robber technique.
he was.
He
He
was
was.
there to spy and to come up underneath, and that's what he had to cut the route.
Yeah.
Like you said, it was a little bit late. Had it been
Yeah,
fired
fired,
earlier,
right.
I'm not saying that it still would have been completed,
Yeah.
but
It wouldn't
we
have
had
been
a better
intercepted,
chance.
yeah.
That guy, like I said, it was right there
He was
in front
right
of
there.
us.
I mean, look.
He slid over.
Yeah, he slid over,
Yeah.
and Michael just didn't see him. And you're going to get defenses like that where you have they'll put a robber in there,
Right.
to undercut those in-cut routes.
Yeah. And I think that young man was, he took a bad hit. I think he was one of the ones who got
was the
knocked
one
out.
who will probably not be playing this week.
Right, he got hit.
Because they had to come get him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there we have it for our, let's go overall offensive grade.
I'm going to give them a C.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
Now, some people are going to say, we didn't score. We did not score. We didn't score a touchdown. We had one real opportunity where we should have got one. But again, the overall operation of it, I thought I saw a C.
And from what we're seeing by, some of the fans who were there also, they would agree. I got O-line, B in pass, and C+ in the run.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I just want everybody to know now, come Saturday, we playing people our size, and this grading system is going to be totally different.
Harder.
Now, if they play like they played this week against Mercer,
We're on the curve system right now, okay? We will not be curved next week.
no curves this next week.
No.
How about let's move on to defense, guys. Let's go defensive front. D-line.
Extremely impressed with how we held our ground. There wasn't a lot of running room inside. USF wants to run a power inside running game. There wasn't much room. Their runs came on the quarterback keeper.
Right.
That's how they got some yardage. But our interior line play, I thought, was really, really good. I thought they held at the point of attack very, very well. And to be able to hold them in short yardage situations, I would probably give them a B- at worst.
All right, Ralph?
I agree. I was looking for a little bit more aggressiveness on the offense, on the defensive line, but I'll go with the C.
and I'll ask it after we finish the grading. Let's go with linebacker play.
Well, is Dearest a linebacker?
Yeah, he's
Yes.
a linebacker.
Okay,
Yeah.
they just got a better grade. I saw this kid all last year, and wherever the ball was, he was always there. So I'm going to have to give them a B minus.
Yeah, I thought our gap integrity, where the linebackers fit the gaps for runs, they were there for the most part. We missed some tackles. We didn't quite wrap up, but they were in place to make tackles. And I part of that for me is being prepared, reading your keys, and understanding what the defense is asking, the coordinator is asking you to do.
Yeah, I think the coaches did a great job
Yeah.
of putting them in the right position.
Right, and
Yeah.
again, I would agree with that grade, Ralph. I would go with a B minus there also.
All right, let's move on to defensive backs.
Now, is that including the safeties?
Defensive backs.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to give them a C minus because I think, my opinion on the game that I saw, I thought they could be a tad more aggressive.
Well, I did as well, but I thought we played a vanilla shell. We played
Yeah, okay.
off the ball a lot. We wanted to keep everything in front of us.
Right. Okay.
And that's where I kind of agree with you. We tried to come up and make the tackle, but we didn't get any press. We didn't close down.
Right. That's my point. Yeah.
And that was kind of the thing I was leading to when I said after we finished the grades, I would go back and ask. We said the offense played coy, for lack of a better
Right.
word. How much did the defense play coy?
I thought the way the defense played, you hear the term bend but don't break, but I thought that they played, we're going to let you earn it. We're not going to give you anything over the top. And we
Okay.
didn't give anything over the top.
Right.
Vanilla, shorten the field. If you're going to drive it on us, you're going to have to drive it. But we're not going to give up anything big. We didn't give up anything big. And I think that was all in the scheme. The scheme,
Yes.
the kids have to play what they call.
Right.
And so if they're playing soft coverage on the corner and the safeties are hanging on the hash, then they're not going to be nearly as aggressive coming downhill. So that's why I said what I'm saying about the scheme that we ran. We made USF earn everything, and they really didn't get anything cheap.
No, I agree.
Overall defense.
I'm maybe C minus.
Listen, given the number of snaps they had, because time of possession.
What was the big word? Tempo.
Yeah, tempo. Yeah.
Tempo.
I mean, 'cause
That bubble
University-
huddler they were running, they were
Yeah.
trying to run tempo all night long. We were right there. We were never out of position. You know, and that's why I'm going to say this, guys. You may disagree with. I give the defense a B minus. I really do.
Because last year, University of South Florida ran more plays than any other FBS school. They run a lot of plays.
They were going fast, and even in short yardage situations where they were on
Yeah.
the ball, we still stopped them.
Yep.
So we got in the fan section we have a C minus. And then that's when someone just came in and said, that pace and tempo. we talked about it off the air, and I was,
If you saw it in person or you saw it even on the computer, if you watched the game, they were running plays
sitting
under
down
10
in the
seconds.
stands even is like, whoo.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
They go.
A couple of times they ran some plays, and the markers were not even set.
Right.
The yard markers in front of us were not even set yet, and that can't happen. The markers have to be in place.
Exactly. Yeah. But they were ready to go.
Oh, they were.
And of course, even though the markers wasn't in place, the referees were putting the ball down.
Of course, and they were ready to go. And guess what? Guess what? We were right there, and they never did gash us.
No.
So let's go special teams.
All right. I'm going to give the special team a B+.
I'm going to give them an A for this reason. Think about where we had the football most of the game and how they pinned us back. And every single time, our kicker, Frederic, flipped that football field.
Yes, he did.
Directional kicking.
Yes, he did.
Altitude.
Yes, he did.
Coverage kicks. We did a great job. The special teams look mid-season form.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah. So we all agree?
We all agree.
All right. There you have it, guys. Final team stats for Saturday's contest. You got one gentleman given an A+ or A for our special team.
Is that CC?
They were good.
No.
Not CC.
Special teams look solid. Got to shore up the punt coverage.
That's it. That's the only area we need to tighten up.
Total yards, BCU 170, USF 403. Passing yards, BCU 122, USF 172. Rushing yards, BCU 48, USF 231. Penalty yards, Bethune-Cookman 10 for 75, USF 7 for 85. First downs, Bethune-Cookman 17 first downs, guys. That's
something.
That's an improvement,
Yes, it
a
is.
big-time improvement.
Yes, it is.
20 for USF, so they only had 3 more than us. Third downs, we were 3 for 18. USF was 8 for 15. Fourth downs, BCU 1 for 2. USF 1 of 2. So that's total time of possession. BCU 37 minutes, 40 seconds. USF 22 minutes, 20 seconds. And that's to be expected when you're running tempo.
Yes.
There's no way you're slowing that down. So great things, guys. Just great things, and got to keep it going.
I was pleased with the effort. I really was. I knew there was no chance to win, and nobody likes to go to a game like that. But you need to check. But overall, we look like a very polished football team that intentionally did not show much.
Right, definitely. We did not show much, but look at even accomplishment, 17 first downs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You
3 different quarterbacks. Everyone for the most part who traveled saw some time.
That's right.
Yeah, saw some time in.
We got a
in that
bevy of
contest.
running backs in there all night long.
Definitely so. There you have it, guys. That's our coverage for the Bethune-Cookman USF game. Let's transition to our formidable foe this coming Saturday. We have the Mercer Bears, 3 p.m. kickoff here at Daytona Stadium. Big contest for us. As you guys said, that curve.
No longer exists this coming Saturday.
Yeah, that curve no longer exists after this Saturday. So we'll see, guys. We'll see.
It should be a very exciting game. Mercer put up 63 points last week. But I think we have a pretty good football team as well. And I think that this game is going to be extremely competitive. And hopefully the Wildcats come out on top.
I believe that this is the highest rated FCS game based on who we're playing in the form of Mercer versus all of the other SWAC schools and MEAC for that matter who've played FCS competition. Nobody has played a team as good
That's Mercer.
as Mercer. So this is a real measuring stick, if you would, for the conference and more importantly for Bethune-Cookman.
Guys, let's bring in the creator, and hopefully we can hear him. We're trying out some technology here. Jerry Bell, welcome to the show.
What's going on, guys? I'm just here so I won't get fined.
I can't hear him.
Yeah, we're gonna bring him up. We're trying to get him up now. So, Jerry, how's it going, man?
All is well. I'm excited about this game this upcoming Saturday. As you
Glad to
guys
have
said,
you on, man.
no more excuses.
We've moved on to Mercer. What do you see from Mercer? You've watched some of the film from Mercer.
First of all, to echo what Larry just mentioned, this is a huge game for this program. Huge game. So, thumbs up. Can you guys hear me?
Gotcha. So, guys, Mercer comes in. You have Junior Smith. He's junior. He's a junior. DJ Smith completed passes to a dozen different receivers in that contest.
12 different receivers,
Yep.
yes.
12 different receivers, and Braden Smith is his top receiver.
Gotcha. Braden is his top receiver.
He was 20 of 24.
Right.
3 touchdowns for 331 yards. That's pretty high efficiency. In fact, I think his passer efficiency rating was 232.1.
Yep.
Wow.
Now, that's off the chain. That's the third highest rating for a passer in their program history.
Throws for, on the night, throws for 320 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was 20 of 24 passing, while he also added 25 rushing yards and an additional score. As you said, his passer rated 228.3 is his efficiency. So he moves the ball around. New coach there at Mercer. Just what do you see from those guys? What do they do well that you've seen, Ralph?
Well, what I can see, they throw the ball well. They like to throw the ball. And
A lot of multiple set spread, West Coast offense kind of stuff. Quick passing game, complementary routes, guys who can run after catch.
Gotcha.
Okay, explosive kind of things in that regard. So they are an offensive juggernaut. They can put points up on the board in a heartbeat if you're not where you're supposed to be defending them.
Jerry, what do you see from Mercer? What stands out at you in their scouting report?
Can you guys hear me yet? First of all, I know I'm kind of in and out on this with this audio.
I think we lost them, possibly.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right, no problem.
Jerry, you there with us? Yeah. So, guys,
Braden Smith is the real deal.
Yep.
He is an electric football player. Wherever he touches the football, whether it's in the receiving game or the return game, he is a handful.
He averaged 27 yards per catch last week.
the guy had, he kind of, had some words for us. Oh, I'm going to run all over those guys. But granted, Ralph, and, we're not here to deter anyone, but how many yards did they have on the ground?
139.
139. That's not. I think he had he had 100-something all-purpose yards on the ground.
He had just in the kicking game, he had a 75-yard punt return.
Yeah.
So you want to kick the football directionally away from him. This would be a good week to not make certain we don't get that football in the middle of the football field, and we need to have very good hang time because he's that kind of football player. We need to neutralize him as best we can.
Definitely so. We need to neutralize, and I think we could. I mean, look at the grades that, especially with special teams, look at the grades that we have for our special teams. And I know Coach DJ, we work heavily on that this past week in practice. So.
And you can believe that DJ's covering that. He knows. He's a seasoned coach.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
And the quickest way to impact a football game is on special teams.
That's right.
You know, big plays, you know, home run plays. And so we've got to minimize that.
And it's no different for them. I mean, it's not like you're bringing a team who's far away from here. They're coming down from Macon. So weather is not going to factor in. We just have to play football.
We're going to have to play football.
Yeah.
And the flip side of that is we're not Presbyterian.
No,
Okay?
right.
So
Yeah.
let's put that into the mix as well.
Yeah.
Okay, because we got a bunch of good athletes on this side over here.
Again,
Definitely.
I think if for the fans, if they were on to judge the Bethune-Cookman College football team, the 2024 version, Saturday, you all should be able to do that. Because this team comes in and they're the same size we are.
Well, they're formidable.
Yeah.
Make no mistake about
They're
it.
a good football team.
They are. We're not taking anything away from them.
And we're going to have to play some ball. I think we're capable of doing that.
I as well.
We definitely have to play some ball against those guys and team up with them well.
And we need to play a clean game. We don't, no turnovers, you know, nothing cheap again. And we need to start to create some turnovers ourselves.
Definitely so. We definitely have to create those turnover ourselves. And
What are Florida teams most noted for? Speed.
Speed.
Okay, so
We got plenty
we
of
got
speed.
some of that. Okay, and so just as they have some, we have a few too. So even swap is no swindle.
leave it to the professor, baby. Leave it to the professor, guys. Leave it to my guy. Oh, man.
You know, what some fans are asking about who do we think should be the starting quarterback. I really don't have the answer to that myself. I don't know what you guys think.
Who has the hot hand? I mean, go at them.
Well, I think that will probably be determined by this week's practice. Who was sharper in practice?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm certain each quarterback will have a package for him to execute.
And that's what we saw Saturday, especially from, with Cam Ransom, and that package was great.
It is.
So, yeah, definitely. Jerry, we have you with us?
I am. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, sir. We got
Yes.
you loud and clear. Welcome to the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show, man. Glad to have you here. Glad we were able to get you back in. What do you think about Mercer?
I want to echo something that Larry said earlier, and it's this. This is a huge game for this program.
Definitely.
As
Definitely.
Larry
a huge
mentioned,
game.
aren't very many teams in the SWAC or MEAC who played an FCS caliber opponent that's equal to Mercer.
That's right.
Definitely so.
So
Definitely,
I think
definitely not.
this is one of those program-defining games, or potentially it could be. If Bethune goes out, plays well, come out with a win, then all of that goodwill you've earned in the offseason, you actually get to cash in on it.
Yes, you definitely get to cash in on it. You definitely do get to cash in on it. And, it can take you places. It can take you a long way,
Listen, it can get you into FCS rankings.
Yes,
okay?
sir. Yes, sir. I mean, it changes that, that terrible ranking we got in the SWAC,
Or these power rankings where they have us down in the basement.
Yeah, and then you got the one person who decided to make us number 10, in HBCU football. So It helps validate that person and validate what we know we have. So, yeah, definitely.
But,
definitely.
I also, to me, this is a statement game for Coach Woody and his staff. This is a statement game to show the progress they've made from last year to this year.
Definitely so. It will show a lot of progress from last year to this year. And we've already seen it. We saw it against USF, but now it's even more. It's going to stand out to you that this is where,
That's
right.
That's
I mean,
my
you can
point.
almost define this game as the first opportunity game of Woody's tenure, right?
Yes.
Yes.
This is it.
Yes.
This is it.
Yes. He can lay his claim to, okay, this is what I've been working towards. These are the many restless nights I've had to show you that, give me a full recruiting year. Gave him that full recruiting year, and boom, this is what I'm going to bring to you. And he is fiery as can be.
And all of his preaching about getting 1% better each practice, all the preaching he talks about attention to detail, all of that he's been laying out for this year and a half. This is the game, if it all comes to fruition,
Yes.
where it really does put you on the map.
Yep. Well, I think he has been echoing that in practice.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
so.
I heard it all morning this morning.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
And
Wow.
let's face it. I mean, this program needs an injection of life,
It does.
Yes.
right?
Definitely,
At
Jerry.
some point, again, there was a lot of good feeling in the offseason, as we mentioned. And then we go and play the first game against USF, who, in actuality, USF has an opportunity to make it to the playoffs this year.
They do.
They could legitimately be the highest rated Group 5 team. And so we played them in the first week and don't learn everything about ourselves that we want to learn. But now the opportunity stares you right in the face. Playing against a Mercer, a perennial playoff team, a team who won the playoff game last year, and they are coming to your crib.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity, the first legitimate opportunity, in my opinion, for the Raymond Woody-led Bethune-Cookman Wildcats to go out and make a statement.
Definitely so. Definitely so. And I know he is eager as can be for that.
That's well
as well as
stated,
those
Jerry.
players.
That's well
Yeah,
stated.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
That's what this is. This is a signature defining moment for a program. And I'm sitting here thinking back in my mind. I had a few of these. I had a chance to broadcast. I never will forget going down into Hard Rock Stadium is what it was called, then playing a very good FAU team coached by Howard Snellenberger. And Rasheem Mathis and Bethune-Cookman put on a clinic that day and beat FAU and the legendary coach in Hard Rock Stadium. And I've never seen faces from FAU look like that. I'm talking about, I tried to speak to the legendary quarterback Steve Walsh, who was the quarterback for University of Miami, but he was doing the radio for FAU. He wouldn't shake my hands.
Really?
He was not mad at me. He was just angry
Right.
at the fact that Cookman had come in there and won. So this is that type of game.
This is that game. Yep.
Wow.
And the other thing is, let's face it, Bethune-Cookman has won these type of games.
And
Yes,
this
sir.
is
I mean, Bethune-Cookman has gone into a southeast
That's it.
Louisiana
Yep.
and won those kind of games. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of SWAC schools that win these kind of games outside of the SWAC.
Exactly.
That's
So
right.
you have an opportunity to stake your flag in the ground and say, we're here and we're something to be reckoned with.
Definitely so.
That's it.
Definitely so. So there you have it, guys. Mercer comes into Daytona. 3 p.m. kickoff at Daytona Stadium. Guys, let's pivot. And we've kind of covered it already, but what do we have to do to win this contest?
I think that we got to play a clean game. I'm already knowing we're going to be ready for this particular game. We got to play smart. We got to stay away from the penalties, and we got to stay away from being too overly aggressive. Other than that, I just say we play football helmet to helmet.
Bust them in the mouth.
You got to punch them in the mouth.
Do what you have to do.
They
to force
coming
your
in
will.
your house, so you got to punch them early.
And that was a statement that I heard made in practice. You don't let nobody, we all know the saying.
Yeah.
You don't let nobody come into your house and,
Well, I've not seen Mercer. I know they have a new coaching staff and a brand new roster for the most part. But I feel comfortable saying this. I know in my heart of hearts, we are the most disciplined football player in all HBCU.
Yes.
I know that.
Yes.
So I don't see us going contrary to that in beating ourselves with unnecessarily stupid penalties. But
Right.
I think we need to be clean with no turnovers. We need to create some turnovers, and we need to get some big plays, some explosive plays, maybe in the kick returning game, what have you. Maybe in the passing game, what have you. But we need a few of those plays to get us jump started.
And we do have the players to give us those.
We do.
Oh, no question.
Absolutely.
No question.
Lightning
no
in a
question.
bottle type thing.
Yeah, we didn't have it last year, but it's on the roster this year.
Yes.
It really is.
Yeah.
In more ways than one. In more ways than one, we definitely have that on our roster.
And I hope that they being Mercer, they're taking us for granted because
Yeah.
they see that we're in the basement. This might be a trip to the beach for them. Maybe that's what they're looking for. I don't know.
But we're not Presbyterian.
Oh no, that's what I started off with. We're not Presbyterian, and that's not being arrogant. I'm just stating that we're not that.
Right. I mean,
And listen, if you look at the stats, I didn't get a chance to watch the entirety of the game against Presbyterian, but I watched some highlights. But the stats reveal that Mercer did not go out and have the kind of game on the ground that a 63-10 score would indicate.
Right.
It's not like they were bad on the ground.
Right.
It just wasn't a dominant performance. So to me, I think, part of the keys of winning is to get out, see if you can get a lead early to keep them one-dimensional, make them one-dimensional.
Yep.
Because, they ran the ball enough to keep Presbyterian honest. But if we can get out to a lead, I would love to be able to see these defensive ends we have be able to get up the field and say, can you block us?
definitely. And
The guys,
I don't think they can.
They had 75 yards in penalties. Mercer did last week.
Right.
So and Presbyterian only had 30 yards. So I'm looking in that area for certain. But I think Jerry makes a good point, and Ralph and I were talking about that. The running stats didn't indicate to me.
Right.
You know,
what? Yeah.
I don't know whether Presbyterian was stacking the box or whatever, but like I said, we're gonna put it down on Saturday, and we're gonna figure it out.
I mean, they threw the ball 30 times and they ran the ball 30 times. Mercer did. So
It's good balance.
Yeah, it was a good balance, but like I was telling Derek earlier, you would think they would have gained, because of the passing they were doing, that they would have gained more than 139 yards. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the quarterback gained most of those yards.
Wow.
Yeah, he seems like he's pretty slippery, so we got to contain him.
Definitely. So within our game plan, what do you, of course, like you say, get it to the home run guys and the guys who are going to make plays, which we have tons of those on offense. Looking at the numbers on their offense versus our defense, what do we need to do on defense to shut them down?
Well, I think we have to have great gap integrity. We need to read our keys. Don't get caught if you're the defensive back. Don't get caught peeking in the backfield.
Right.
Do what you're supposed to do and execute what you've been taught to do and play smart football. If we do those kind of things and don't beat ourselves, that's how you can affect a game like this with a team like Mercer. So I think that's what's going to be real critical for us. As I say, I cannot emphasize this enough. I saw this Bethune-Cookman team last year. Guys, you saw this team last year. We gave great effort. We didn't have the talent we have right now.
Exactly.
And we've got more skill than we have. We just have not played in a meaningful game. That's what this is this week. So we get a chance right now. You know, we've been studying all fall, all summer, and we're getting ready to take a quiz. We're going to take the quiz Saturday to find out where we are,
Right.
and how much information we've retained from our coaches, because I know they put the time in. You don't ride by the Hanfield Center as much as I do at night. And I thought they got a club going on over there. I'm like, what are they doing in that building? So somebody's over there meeting, and I think there's a lot of skull session going on in there. So we'll see what happens this Saturday. I would say, Wildcat fans, come on out. We need that 12th man to be at that stadium.
What say you, Ralph?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm looking for a really great ball game. I think that we got the talent. I think that we got a great game plan. I think we're going to be ready, and this is our opportunity to show our fans what kind of football team we are. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Jerry, you want to expound on that?
Yeah, to me, as far as a game approach, I think this is one of those kind of old school approaches where you got to run the ball and stop the run. As I mentioned, we've got to do a better job of running the ball than we demonstrated either last year or last week. So I know we want to give it to the home run guys, and that's great, but we got to stay on schedule. We got to be able to push the pile forward, stay on our blocks, stay on our cues, get up to the next level, and we've got to be able to get something out of the running game.
Well, that will help us shorten. That would
on
help
defense,
us.
it's the same thing.
That would help us, Jared. That would help us shorten the football game too, because when you're running the football efficiency,
Right.
you're moving the chains.
Absolutely, and I think on the other side is we gotta win. We gotta win on first and second down, right? We gotta stop the run to put them in obvious pass situations, because again, I think our strength on this defense is being able to get to the quarterback.
Yep.
And so to the degree that we can win on first and second down, make them one-dimensional, and get to the quarterback, put them in obvious pass and obvious situations, then I think we have a chance to win this game.
Spoken like a real coach.
So, Saturday at 3 o'clock, I just want to make sure everybody realizes this game is not going to be 4 o'clock. It's a 3 o'clock game, and make sure you bring some rain gear, because we're expecting rain late in the afternoon. It's been raining in Daytona all week, so make sure you bring some rain gear, and please make sure you understand the game starts at 3 instead of 4.
Sure would like to see a nice contingent of maroon and gold out there. I'm sure we'll have a nice crowd out there, because I think Mercer's going to bring a few people down themselves. I'm certain they'll travel down.
But, I thought we had a pretty nice crowd at
We had
South
a great
Florida as
crowd
well.
in South Florida. Really showed up well over in Hillsborough. So I think the same thing will possibly happen Saturday. At least that's what we're hoping for. And these young men deserve that kind of support, because
Exactly.
they have put in the quality time and preparation for this football season. So there's no more exhibitions now. We're moving into the season with this next game.
Yeah, I'm gonna put on my preacher's cloth and go over to Mercer and tell them they don't like Jesus. You know, they played Presbyterian last week. They played the Methodist school this week. I need y'all to act right.
Go give them some act right. That's all right. I like that, Jerry.
Well said, Jerry.
Guys, we'll
Hey, Mercer's a Baptist school, though, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, they are.
Yep.
Wow. So yeah, just it's going to be interesting Saturday. Can't wait.
It really is.
Can't wait. We'll be out there a little early, 12:30.
Yeah.
We're going to have a kickoff. We're going to have a tailgate come by.
Yep.
Join in our tailgate 12:30 over on the home side parking lot. We will have fish, and I don't know whether it's going to be fish and grits or what it's going to be because I don't want to get one of them, something good, a winning combination.
I like that, Daryl.
A winning combination, we'll call it. So at this time, we'll hear from.
Hey, fellas, I know we cover football, but come on, let's give it up. This is our first time hearing the Marching Wildcats this year, too, now.
Absolutely.
Definitely so. Definitely. We cover everything, Jerry. We cover everything. We're great to see Dr. Wells and the Marching Wildcats give our fans their first show in person and then let Mercer know how we do things. So,
That's right.
yeah, definitely. Hopefully we pack the stadium out. It is, we're starting an hour earlier than we normally start. So, but we'll be there. We'll be there. We'll be ready. This time we'd like to hear a word from our sponsor, Alpha One Staffing, the #1 staffing firm in America.
As we begin to reconsider how and where we want to work, Alpha One Staffing is here to help companies bridge the talent gap.
I really struggled to find a second career on my own after my retirement.
It's been hard for us to find the right candidates who will push our team and business to the next level.
Then I heard about Alpha One Staffing.
Then I heard about Alpha One Staffing.
Then I heard about Alpha One Staffing.
Alpha One Staffing partnered with our HR team to help us understand exactly how to navigate this new digital world, even recommending strategies for recruitment and employee development.
I needed a job that would support my needs and lifestyle while also challenging me. Alpha One Staffing was completely transparent and knowledgeable about the process and provided me with the tools to feel more confident and prepared. I couldn't wait to start my new career.
We partner with our clients and assess their needs. We are the matchmakers, and our goal is to provide each client with the candidates that make a difference within their organization.
Alpha One Staffing understood that we needed a candidate with digital marketing experience in our industry. Someone with an innovative mindset who could help expand our social media presence. Now, we couldn't be happier with our presence online and the impact that we are making globally.
Alpha One Staffing presented us with incredible, highly qualified, and dedicated candidates. We will definitely be using Alpha One Staffing for our next hire.
I was hired permanently after 6 months. This wouldn't have happened without Alpha One Staffing helping me get my foot in the door. If you're looking for work, I highly recommend Alpha One Staffing.
If you're a job seeker or an employer, go to alphaonestaffing.com and send us your resume or tell us about your hiring needs today.
All right, we're back here with the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show, and we have a special guest with us tonight. I think he wears #1 out on the football field. Cam Ransom, how's it going, man? Welcome to the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. We're glad to have you here this evening at Houligans here on ISB, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great, man. I can't complain. Every day I wake up with opportunity.
There you go. There you go. Did you bring my glizzy tonight?
He's got love hot dog.
So, Cam, we go into USF last weekend, and I know that's close to home for you. How was that experience for you? Finally back on the gridiron. We know we were waiting to see you last year. You finally got that opportunity this year. How was it?
It was great, man. I can't even say it, man. It was playing against my guys that I played with in high school. You know, it felt really good to play with those guys and, you know, have a bond with those guys on the field. And we was talking and chatting it up like that. You know, just competing out there and just flying around, man. But the objective was to win the game, but we didn't come out how we wanted, you know. So we just got to come out harder against Mercer this week. You know, we played them Saturday at 3 p.m., so I hope that goes great, man. We're just going to keep fighting and just keep going every day.
Definitely keeping fighting. And, you know, I know the Wildcat faithful. We're glad to see you move the ball around out there. Like you said, I know it didn't turn out the way we wanted it, but you saw some success. We saw some success against a team who, you know, next week or this weekend is going into, you know, Alabama to play Alabama. Right. How was it for yourself? I know you've played on that level before. How was it for you?
Man, it felt really good, man, just to get back on the field again. Like last year, I sat out this whole spring, the whole fall.
Right,
you know, and I was just sitting out, and I was on scout team, just giving the defense a good look every week. You know, and it was
them the business, man.
I had fun with those guys, man. You know, guys like Dears Thomas, you know, AJ and then we got Ray Woody there. You know, so man, it was great, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. But I had a fun experience, like I said, man, and just getting back fired up, you know, and coming out every week and doing what I want to do and doing what I was taught to do all my life, you know. So it's nothing new for me, you know, just going out there, having that inner child in me and just flying around.
Most definitely. Larry, you got something for Cam?
Well, you know, like I said, I know he sat out all last year.
Yeah.
I covered Cam in high school. I never will forget.
Wow.
When y'all knocked off the Dreadnoughts of Lakeland in the state playoffs. I didn't think that was possible, but that night, boy, y'all put it on DeMarcus. What is DeMarcus Bowman?
Oh, yeah, DeMarcus Bowman. Great guy, man. Great guy.
Yes, sir. Good guy. But, you know, when I was driving in for the game on Saturday, I was coming down I-4, and I've driven it for so many years, and I got out, and as I was coming into Tampa, I always, in my orientation, I looked to my left and drive past the Beast from the East, you know, and I looked at that stadium over there at Armwood. I said, boy, we got one. She's playing for us now, you know.
So.
You know, and so that stadium is magical. You have to go in there sometime. It's something else. So I'm just happy for you to be on the football field.
I appreciate it.
And you know, I know they got all kind of packages for you. I'm telling you, we sit in the stand watching. I would not want to have to come up and tackle you. I mean, literally, I don't know what that's all about. But most quarterbacks try to avoid contact. And it seems sometimes there was a quarterback who played when I was here at Cookman, and he was Nick Collins' father.
Nick Collins.
He was my roommate, Willie Collins, on recruitment trips.
I think he like class of 1979. I think.
He came out He actually came out 76.
76. Okay.
But let me tell you, you talk about a 6'2", 230-pound quarterback who was a fullback. And let me tell you what, he did not shy away from contact. And every time I see you run, you know, there's a similarity in that as well. But you're a far better passer. We didn't throw the football back then. It was 3 yards in a cloud of dust. You know, everybody was running wishbone. But it's just so good to see you out there and doing what you do. You know, you're having fun, you and your teammates. And so I just really wish the best for you. I know as the season goes on, more and more playing time, the rust will come off. And I know the competitor you are.
Yes, sir.
So you're going to give it all. So we're behind you 100%.
Most definitely.
Just know that, okay?
I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Well,
You know, I've been waiting to see this man play for 11 months, and then I finally get to see him play on Saturday, and what I was expecting, he delivered. So hopefully this weekend you get to show us again. I'm going to be looking forward to it.
I appreciate you, sir.
Of course.
Jerry, you got anything for Cam?
Yeah, Cam. What's the move like in practice this week?
What's the move like this in practice this week? We all rotating like the QB room. The QB room that we got right now, man, is you know, guys that you got older guys in the room, you know, so everybody's great. You know, everybody knows the playbook, like Luke Spray, Tyleek Bethel, and then we got Michael Bowens. He transferring from Charlotte, I think. You know, so you know, he everybody's good in the room. You know, just us competing every day, and then coaches making that decision.
Definitely.
And what about outside of the quarterback room, amongst the team? What's the general feeling amongst the team? Guys are up, excited. Is there confidence going into this game?
Right. Yeah, guys are man. Like we got great confidence. You know, like the team, man. We feel like we just have a good challenge this week against Mercer. So that's all we focus on right now. Just getting better during this week, which we have, and just flying around and getting ready for Mercer.
There you go. Cam, you have tons of Wildcats watching all over the country. If you had something to say to the Wildcat fan base, here's your opportunity. Go ahead.
Man, I love all y'all, man, and just Hail Wildcats every day of your life, and just keep going and doing the right things.
There you go. Number one quarterback, Cam Ransom. Cam, we thank you for being on the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show, man. We will definitely have you back here shortly. And blessings and good luck this weekend.
Peace and blessings.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Go get you something to eat, man.
Oh, and by the way, Daryl's buying.
I love it.
Thanks. Yes, sir. Thank you, Cam. We appreciate you also, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. There you have it, Cam Ransom, number one. Our quarterback, one of our quarterbacks here for the Wildcats, and glad to have him on the show. Great young man. We have a lot of fun and joke around and talk a lot. And it's, you know, glad for the fan base to meet all these guys that we have on the show. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yes, definitely.
Who you bringing?
Yeah, well, you know, bro, it's no telling who will show up here at Houligans, right?
You got that, especially with you buying.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, we're going to bring another Wildcat up, man. They just keep coming, bro. They must have heard about the wings here at Houligans. So they do have some pretty good wings. We had some before the show. So, man, this guy, there's another guy who has like the same last name as this guy around here at Daytona somewhere. Fans, we'd like to welcome to the show my guy, man, Raymond Woody III. Ray, how goes it, man? Welcome.
How y'all doing? Appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, man, we're glad to have you. You know, you've been all over the country with Tallahassee, California, and Berkeley, you know, just all around, man. And finally, back here in Daytona, man. You know, we had Micah and Trey on last week. Tell us about that transition. You know, like I said, went to Florida State first. Go Noles. We're going to be okay. But it's all Wildcats right here, right now. So then you go out to Cal Berkeley. Bring us up to speed. What, you know, you go to Cal, and then now you're here in Daytona. Bring us through that scenario.
Shoot, well, I was blessed, man, my whole life. I had to move around a lot, just being a coach's kid, you know, so
yeah, we were gonna ask you why you had to move around.
So you know, just man, I think I went to like 4 or 5 different high schools, probably like 7 schools total. I lived all around the country, but what you asked, just having an opportunity to go to California, you know, getting a chance to get that degree, like that's a big time degree.
Definitely.
Having a chance, like you say, play at the highest level at Florida State, Cal, just playing a whole bunch of different guys, Heisman Trophy finalists, things like that. I mean, it was all a blessing, and then just having an opportunity to get one more season to come down here to Cookman, really where my mom and dad went to school. It was
Definitely.
just a blessing to be able to finish my career here.
Definitely glad to have you here, man. I know you were getting calls from all over the nation, but glad you chose here. Let me ask you this. Was there any major influence from the head coach for you to come to Bethune? And like I said, I know we can talk about that here. He's at meetings right now, so
y'all need to stop.
So what pushed you to come to Bethune over all the other locations that were pursuing you?
I mean, really, it was just the family affair. I mean, having a chance to play at some great universities and just, you really don't get the opportunity for your father to be a head coach somewhere.
Definitely.
And just being able to be a part of that and be the change in that, and knowing I'm an older guy and I can have that influence of other guys as well, just to be able to do that. I mean, it's just a blessing. And then, like I said, my whole family's down here. So that was a major part, just grandparents, things like that, being able to watch me play. They really haven't been able to watch me play too much, being on the other side of the country.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, it was all major. And then, again, just having the opportunity to go to the NFL from anywhere, as long as you do what you're supposed to do and make plays, and you know what I mean? So it was really a no-brainer for me. Obviously a difficult decision, but it came down to family and just going somewhere to do something special, like being that reason change occurs.
There you go. Larry?
Yeah, high school football is something that I've always had a strong calling for. And Ray, I remember your dad and your mom being here at Cookman, and I heard about you, but I didn't get a chance to see you until you got to Florida High.
Okay.
In Tallahassee.
Yes, sir.
And that was my first time, seeing you then, and followed your career. Like you said, you recruited at Florida State, and Coach Taggart and your dad's friendship, and then when that came to an end there, figuring out where you were going to go. And I remember having a conversation with a dear friend of mine who's my equal when it comes to high school sport, and we said, gosh, Raymond's got out to Cal Berkeley. So I said, let me tell you something. I said, one thing I know about Cal Berkeley, it's serious academically, okay? It's for real. That's not for the weak of mind.
Not at all.
It's for real. You got to have something inside the afro, underneath the afro, okay? But from that standpoint. But when we heard that there was some talk about you coming back this way for your final year, I just thought, man, you could write a book about this. What a fitting ending, from that perspective. And as your dad is beginning to build the program that he wants to build here at his alma mater, and you all having a hand in that, friends that you've connected with through the years, and coming in here, bringing your experience that you have been at different levels to see, and helping to educate and teach the youngsters from that standpoint. But just knowing that you bring that kind of experience to the field, and you're in the back end of that defense, and here we're getting ready to go up against a pretty doggone good football team Saturday. And they like to do a lot of wonderful things with the football passing, and there's no substitute for that experience.
Right.
And so I'm just looking forward to you having a great season this year, and to me the season starts this Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Because this is a true challenge at our level.
Yes, sir.
From that standpoint. So let me just welcome you here, and as I said, you'll see more of me. I'm one of the historians for Bethune-Cookman football.
CSB historian.
So it just means I'm old, okay? But good luck to you.
Yes,
okay?
sir. Thank you. Nice to meet you, too.
Well,
So Ray, all right, so this is possibly your last collegiate season.
Yes, sir.
What you looking forward to in December, November? How you seeing this whole thing play out, and what would you like to see play out? What you looking forward to?
You know what I'm gonna say? I mean, right now I'm just locked in for real on Mercer, but the ultimate goal is to win. Like, we going in every week. We want to win every game we play against. Our goal is the SWAC championship, Celebration Bowl. But again, that's a lot of teams' goal. Everybody's saying that. We just gotta. I'm just looking forward to the grind. Like, just being different, not talking about it, because a lot of people, you know, a lot of people can speak, talk, but just really being about the action. So that's really what I'm looking forward to, just taking it all in, just being a leader, and just a lot of people say it goes by fast, but just really being in the moment. I'm just, every practice, every meeting, every experience, I'm just taking in the moment with my teammates. I mean, being brought into a great family is just being in the moment every day, just being in the moment and trying to win a lot of games.
Great.
Ray, as I said to Cam, there's a lot of Wildcats out watching throughout the nation. They're listening to you. What do you have to say to them?
And I just appreciate y'all, everybody that came out last week. Need y'all to come out again. We got a big-time game. We want y'all to just be a part of it. And, yeah, we ready to go.
Definitely ready to go. Hail Wildcats, another number one. On defense. Looking forward to seeing great things out of you. You know, right now, you're down one. And what I mean by down one, your brother got a touchdown the other night. Yeah, your brother got a touchdown the other night in Eustis against those guys. Yeah. So you got to even up with Caden. Definitely. Ray, thanks for coming, man. Glad to have you. Good luck on Saturday. We will be there, and look forward to having you back on the show here very soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Another one of our Wildcats, big guys. You think we're done with them?
No, it should be another Wildcat hanging around here somewhere.
They're always on the prowl, man, lurking around. Hey, and this one, this one is everywhere, man. He is definitely everywhere. That, you know, if there's a ball around there, he's going to be around there. And, you know, just I
look for this guy all Saturday night, and I was getting upset because I couldn't find him. And then you tell me change numbers. I thought you got to be kidding.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we have number 6. De'Aris Thomas was number 25 last year. De'Aris, welcome to the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show, man. Glad to have you here on the show. Bro. What? You know, where does it come from? I used to live down in Naples and everything like that. Where does this talent come from?
First, I would like to say thank you for having me.
Yes, glad to have you, man.
I'll say it starts with God. You feel me? He blessed me with this God-given talent to be able to go out there and play like this each and every game and put on for my teammates. So start off with that. But my head coach, Ricky Martin. Shout out to that guy right there, man.
Big time.
Taught me a whole bunch of football down there in Naples. You know, moving down there my senior year, he definitely instilled a lot of greatness in me. So shout out to that guy.
Great, man. So you come to Bethune-Cookman from FAU, a little different campus, leaving Paradise and coming
Definitely.
What was that transition like for you?
As crazy as it sounds, it was definitely a lot easier than trying to fit in from high school to Florida Atlantic. So,
gotcha.
Just the environment and like helping hands and open arms definitely helped a lot in coming here.
Definitely. So what? And you kind of covered it a little bit. What drives you to almost, it seems like, be in on every tackle, every play?
Well,
do you have a monitor on the football? Like, this guy has the football, and that's where I got to be.
Nah, sir, I just play football.
Just play football.
Just
My
go.
man.
But nah, I say definitely God-given talent. Like, talk about it with my dad all the time. You feel me? Like, it's just get out there, lock in, and go. There's not really too much to say about it or explain how to get it done.
Right, just get it done.
Do it. Yeah, you just do it.
Yeah, just get it done.
So,
wow, that's great. Larry?
Well, you know, I'm back to the high school thing again. You mentioned your coach, Coach Martin.
Yes, sir.
I got a friend who I've been watching Naples Eagles football for a long time. Mm-hmm. And there was a guy who coached down there who was a friend of mine. And he was one of the great defensive coaches of all time in high school football. His name was Sam Dollar.
Sam Dollar.
Sam Dollar. He was the guru of Naples, orchestrator of the defenses.
Definitely heard about it.
And my fishing partner, Pete, called me. He said, Larry, he said, they got I was talking with Coach Dollar. He said, because I'm supposed to be going to one of the games. And he said, they got a kid over there. He was talking about you. And that's how I first heard your name.
Wow, that's crazy.
When Pete told me that Coach Dollar, who's retired, when it comes to the game, he said, man, they got a kid out there. If you stay between the lines,
that's crazy.
He's going to make the tackle. So I was really familiar with that, and I realized that you were going to FAU. I remember that. But I was just stunned when I found out that you had, transferred here. But I know before I ever saw you play, the first thing that they told me about you from talking with Pete, who had seen you after he talked with Coach Sam, that motor of yours, that's an incredible motor, man. I mean, it really is, And so, I'm like Ralph. We were sitting in the stands the other night, and I'm like, I didn't have my roster, but I'm like, who is
number 6?
Who is number 6?
Definitely.
One of my partner's sons was sitting next to me. He just graduated from high school. He said, when you got the sack, he said, I know they didn't run a twist with the cornerback coming in. I said, no, that's the linebacker. So we laughed about that, but I was like, man, I said, that's the guy we were looking for right there, no doubt about it. So, Darius, I can't say enough about what you did for us last year. Your effort is always there, and this is a much better cast of players. We got more bodies and more people, and so I'm looking forward to you having a great season. I love your style of play. I love the defense that we have. They move, flow real quickly, and I'm really looking forward to Saturday's football game. And I only, wish you the best, man. Just keep going. I already, God has His hand on you, and I think people realize your talent because for the people in the SWAC to vote you constantly, they know who was making the tackles last year, okay? Definitely. And he hadn't gone anywhere. So good luck to you, and we'll see you around,
really
okay?
Appreciate it.
All right.
Darius, I'm glad you're on our side.
Yes,
I hear that a lot.
Because, just from last year, and I came to that game Saturday looking for number 25. I said, because I know he's going to give him hell. Gotcha. And then Daryl said to me, he said, you realize he's number 6, right?
Because everybody always asks, like, where's number 25?
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's looking for number 25.
They don't call him by name.
But again, I'm glad you were with us, and I hope you all a success this season and next season, and especially Saturday. So good luck.
Thank you so much.
Jerry, you have anything for Darius?
Yeah, I do. A couple questions. Number one, what was your playing weight last year versus this year? You put up some muscle, brother.
Last year I came in at a whopping 185, moving it. You feel me? But
free safety size.
Definitely. But with Coach Woody and our program developing and whatnot, he definitely helped me gain some weight and muscle and whatnot. And as of right now, I'm running about 195, 200.
All right.
So we're definitely getting up there and whatnot. So
where's your optimal weight that you'd like to be at?
I'd say like 215, 210.
Okay. All right.
Definitely.
All right.
What's the old saying there? It's not the size of the fight in the dog. I mean, not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog.
And that's what it's all about. Year, definitely.
Yeah.
Coach Darold coming in, he had a big problem with the weight, and he was a little scared about it. I said, Coach, you know,
well, I'm gonna give it hard and fight, bro.
Definitely.
I'm 300 pounds.
Definitely.
Congratulations on your Player of the Week, Dierz.
So
glad
much.
to have that for you. Jerry, you have any more for Dierz?
Yeah, just again, I asked this of Cam earlier. So on the defensive side of the ball, what's the mood like this week? First of all, what's the morale like, number one? And then number two, what are the keys to this game against Mercer from a defensive perspective?
Overall, throughout the week, it's just been, you feel me, aggressive, downhill, locked in, you feel me, do your job. If everybody does their 111th, we all right, you feel me, we gonna make plays. We got the playmakers, we got the depth, so more or less, just get in and go. Lock in and, you feel me, play your role.
Love it. Love it.
Definitely play your role.
And then what was the last question?
I'm just asking what was the morale like amongst the guys? Are guys up? Are they excited about this challenge? Is there a lot of confidence? Is there some apprehension? What's just the mood like in the locker room?
High vibes, you feel me? I'll say, like I'm going to keep saying that, locked in. We understood the assignment last week, but came up short. But more or less, we got a point to prove, and a lot of the guys know that. So, yeah, we had a lot of fun this week, you feel me, getting better and worrying about Mercer. But I'll say we was definitely locked in. It was more of like we're trying to be a tone setter this week.
Definitely so. Definitely. Love it. Jerry, anything else for Dierz?
That's it. Good luck. Again, congratulations on your preseason nomination, all SWAC. Congratulations this week on your Player of the Week award. And,
Thank you.
Go out there this week and show them who sick is.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Dierz, before we let you go, man, we have tons of Wildcats watching, listening. They're excited. Some are preparing to head to Daytona. What would you want them to know from Dierz's perspective?
Put your trust in God, put your head down and keep working, and you can do anything you think is possible. You feel me?
There you go.
Get it done.
That's the key.
You heard from number 6 itself, the head buster.
Yes, sir.
Thomas Dierz, thanks a lot, man, for coming by
so
the
much.
show,
Thank you
man.
for
We're
having
glad to have you here. We will definitely have you back here on the show, and enjoy Houligans, man.
Of course.
Enjoy Houligans, and we look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. God bless you.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.
That's 3 good ones right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely 3 good ones. Guys, wow. It's exciting.
Incredible,
yeah. Man, glad they counted not robbery to come out here and see us and join in the crowd here at Houligans and take in some of the good vittles.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
Leave it up to us. Well, Dierz is going to be 215, 220.
We're going to find an extra pounds, right?
Yes, sir.
But Simba want to make sure you feed the Wildcats.
We'll do that, and we're going to also have some on Saturday too. So stop by, get you some fish, and whatever Ralph decides to go with it. Guys, we welcome Mercer in here, 3 p.m. this Saturday against our Wildcats. First first time meeting a team, first time meeting Mercer. Welcome here to Daytona, and that alone, and a lot of our fan base probably doesn't know, but this isn't the first time we've welcomed a team like that. In past years, we've been in the playoffs, and we've hosted in the playoffs the Coastal Carolinas, the New Hampshires. Yeah. Last year, Mercer was a playoff team in FCS. I think they lost in the first round, but they were new head coach. He moved on.
They actually won a first round game.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Second round.
They lost to South Dakota.
Yeah, right. So, this is the time to be in Daytona. Yeah. This is the weekend to kick it off. Yes, we had a great time in Tampa last weekend, but we were on the road. Now it's time to come home and show the visiting team what we have as Wildcats. Different conference. These guys come out of the SoCon conference. So we,
Yeah. I was just sitting here thinking as you were talking about Mercer and the SoCon. I don't know. He'll probably be here Saturday. I don't know if he's still doing the radio broadcasts for the Mercer Bears, but I know during the time that I was broadcasting for the Cat Eye Network, certainly in the new millennium, the color analyst for the Mercer Bears was a former Wildcat All-American, Roger Jackson, who played quarterback. Played defensive cornerback and safety, went on to play for the Denver Broncos and became a scout for Denver. And I know that Roger, I listened to many calls of Mercer's games when Mercer, we had the program going and just starting the program up and what have you. So I'm certain he'll be, if he's not on the radio, he'll be in town this weekend for this game for a lot of different reasons. But one of the truly great Wildcats, Roger the Dodger Jackson.
Definitely. This will be, Go ahead, Jerry.
Well, who we actually, we got a pretty good football player transfer in from Mercer.
Yes.
A guy by the name of Jimmy Robertson.
I remember that. All Suncom, freshman of the year.
Just competed for the Indoor Football League's championship. They came up on the short end against the Arizona Rattlers, but, star running back of the league.
Yeah, he's the
league. Definitely.
They did not want to lose him coming back to Florida.
No,
because he was at all. Everything when he went to Mercer as a freshman.
Jerry, real quick, do you have a score out of Flagler?
That game was actually moved back to Friday.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was moved to. Wow. It was moved to Friday.
From Friday to Thursday, and Thursday back to Friday.
Wow.
I love it.
Yeah, when I saw the weather, I'm like, man, there's no difference. It's probably worse tonight than it is probably going to be tomorrow night. But, wow. Gotcha, 10-4 on that. Guys, closing words, man. We've had a great night here on the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. Had some great guests stop by. We're finally home, get to come home. We have, as I said, that big tailgate this weekend there at the stadium. The Hail Wildcats Gridiron Club tailgate. Stop by. We start up at 12:30 on Saturday. Come by and see us. Get you some great food. Ralph is a great cook. I just want everyone to know. Larry's teaching him, but he's doing.
This is getting deeper by the moment. Okay.
And I'd like to, give a shout out to CC in his absence. Don't worry, we'll have him running on Saturday for the game. So. But no, guys, big weekend here. Finally glad to have some Wildcat football back in the house, back in the 386. And Larry, give us your closing words.
Well, I tell you, with week number 2 and first home game of the year, what a true measuring stick it's going to be. And I'm just looking forward to it regardless of the weather. I really believe the weather's going to cooperate with us, and I'm looking for a very exciting football game, and I think the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats will certainly give a very good account of themselves. It'll just be good to see them competing against someone their own size. At the
Right,
level
definitely.
they would. But come on out, Wildcat fans, and support this group of outstanding young Wildcats. And let's do it the Bethune-Cookman way. Let's show up in our maroon and gold with our lungs full of air, ready to cheer these young men on. I look for a very exciting and wonderful Saturday.
We definitely have to have that, that 12th man out there
Absolutely.
to help us out. We'll be high up in the sky, ready to do our armchair quarterbacking from our seats up at the stadium. But we definitely want to see all our Wildcats there. 3 p.m. kickoff. Ralph?
Well, I'm excited. I got an opportunity to really meet 3 of my favorite Wildcats tonight. This game reminds me of the game we went out and played Southeast Louisiana.
Absolutely.
That's what this game reminds me of. And,
excellent point, Ralph.
And
Excellent.
we went out and we played an excellent football game, and we came out victorious, and that's what I'm expecting us to do on Saturday.
Definitely so. Definitely so. Jerry?
Ralph took my thunder. That was exactly my thoughts going into this game. The only difference is that game was a little bit later in the season, but it was still the game that you circled to kind of really figure out who you were back in 2010.
Exactly.
And it was the game, if you remember, we had come off a couple of losing seasons. We had a nice little winning streak going. Went and played the big bad Bulldogs of South Carolina State. Beat them 14-0. Dominated that game. I would love for us to go out. I don't care what the final score is, but I want to see us play well and actually, again, as we mentioned earlier, carry that momentum from the offseason, all of those good feelings, but actually prove it on the field and actually do some things to inject some juice into this program and actually go out and let this be the start of a great run of Bethune-Cookman football.
There you go.
Well said.
There you have it. Fans, we'd love to see you this Saturday here in Daytona Beach at Daytona Beach Stadium for our Wildcats facing the Mercer Bears. 3 p.m. kickoff. And let's get out, let's support our players, and let's bring home this victory.
Absolutely.
For Mr. Ralph Smith, Mr. Larry Wesley, and Mr. CC I Don't Show Up Cruse, I'm your host, Darold Williams. Hail Wildcats, and we'll see you Saturday.
Hail Wildcats.
Have a good
Hail
night.
Wildcats.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Bethune-Cookman University alma mater.